It's a pleasure to be here with all of you after 4 years, which went really fast. In terms of sport, it's a way of success all these years. And sport is our core business, so we have to do what we can to support our federations in their way to run the sport, and the clubs, and the volunteers. We must not forget these volunteers. Without them, nothing is possible. A second pillar has developed over the years, a second pillar that's quite important. It's all what you call beyond sport, non-sport, public policy, road safety. This becomes so important, and we have to be present. We are really the champions in sport. Nobody can challenge us when it comes to sport. There we are the best, and we have to be the best in the years to come. But on the second pillar, beyond sport, we have to grow, we have to do more. United, we stand strong. United, we stand strong, and this is the core message. And with this message, I'd like to welcome you all to the 24th FIM Europe Congress. Very, very welcome here in the wonderful city of Nantes. Bienvenue. Thanks to the federations for the big, big number of federations attending, delegates. It's a pleasure, and I think we'll spend a very nice and interesting afternoon. And there's some football, and I have the information that some guys would love to see football at 4 in the date, so we need to speed up a bit. You know it, you know. Anyway, so without any further ado, let's start. And I ask the president of the French Federation, Monsieur Jacques Paul, to address this audience. Jacques, you have the floor.
Monsieur le Président de la FIM, Monsieur le Président de la FIM Europe, Monsieur le représentant du Comité olympique, Mesdames et Messieurs les représentants des fédérations européennes, chers amis du motocyclisme, il existait un paradoxe. L'UEM, devenue depuis la FIM Europe, a été constituée en France, à Paris exactement, c'était en 1996. Pourtant, depuis, jamais la France n'avait accueilli le congrès de la FIM Europe. C'est aujourd'hui une lacune qui est réparée, et c'est donc avec un immense plaisir que nous accueillons ici les délégations des 40 fédérations européennes qui sont présentes lors de ce congrès. Alors Nantes, c'est la 6e ville de France, c'est la capitale de la région des Pays de Loire, c'est une région de 4 millions d'habitants, mais c'est une ville qui a un passé un petit peu particulier. Elle fut en effet pendant longtemps le premier port négrier de France. Cette activité ne s'arrêta qu'au milieu du XIXe siècle, lorsque l'esclavage fut déclaré illégal en France. Alors ce passé, cette histoire douloureuse, fut longtemps cachée. Et ce n'est que depuis quelques années qu'elle n'est plus occultée et qu'elle est largement évoquée, notamment à travers le mémorial de l'abolition de l'esclavage. Aujourd'hui, Nantes, qui fut largement reconstruite après la Deuxième Guerre mondiale, est devenue une ville touristique, culturelle, universitaire. Elle mise désormais sur la haute technologie depuis que l'activité portuaire a décliné. C'est une ville agréable, et c'est pour ça que la Fédération française l'a choisie. Elle est située à quelques kilomètres de la mer, et on a pensé à Nantes donc, pour organiser le premier congrès de la FIM Europe organisé en France. J'espère que vous apprécierez ce choix. En tout cas, je vous souhaite à toutes et à tous un excellent séjour ici à Nantes, en France. Merci beaucoup.
So thank you very much for these very kind words. Let me also welcome special guests. We have honorary presidents with us. As Jean-Pierre Mougin, he's not only the vice president of the French National Olympic Committee and the Sporting Committee, and also the official representative of the French sporting movement. So Jean-Pierre, you're very welcome. We have Dieter Junge, another honorary president, and we have George Vegas, honorary vice president. So also very, very, very welcome to you. And we have Ted Bartlett, of course, also honorary. So very, very, very welcome. Next in line would be our president, Vito Ippolito. And Vito, I ask you for your address.
Thank you. Thank you, President Srupp. Merci au président de la Fédération, Jacques Boll. I will try to change my speech into language, English and French. We are in France, then we have to also to speak in this language. I would like to say that I'm very proud and happy, really happy to be with all of you here. It's a great opportunity to me to be with you, to meet like in the last years, I don't know how many years, but a lot of years. And I feel very, very well to meet so many friends, so many known faces. And as I'd like also to give my greetings to the authorities here present in this Congress, in this General Assembly, and of course to the honorary members of FIM Europe. Well, I'll try to make a speech to the European federations of the FIM, and I want to start just to say, united we stay strong. I fully agree with these words of President Srupp, and is a key word for the future of the FIM. I will try to say a few words about the future of the FIM. Maybe is my task in this moment just to give you some spot about this future. Is the reason why we are here. We are here to work, to prepare the next activities in sporting matters, or more than sporting matters, I mean beyond the sport issues. The future. I remember that many years ago a sporting man said that it's difficult to make predictions, especially for the future. And I agree. Of course, the future, nobody knows what will happen in the future. But we need to make an effort to try to understand what could happen in the future, because what will happen in the future will affect all of us, will affect our institution, I mean all of the federations of the FIM. I want to stress one thing, it's part of the history of the FIM. In '96, more than 20 years ago, we started to discuss about the future of the FIM. The board at that time decided to do something about the modernization of our organization and started to talk about regions or continents. At that time, '96 is a document, is part of the minutes of the board of '96, something that could be shared in the next future with all of you if you want. The first thing to do before to establish a new statute with the structure that we knew in '98 about the CONUS is to have a strategic plan. They talk about a strategic plan in '96. Nothing was done about the strategic plan until 2008, 2009. 2010. If I think most of you remember that we started a process in 2008 and 10 about a strategic plan. Then more than 10, 12 years needed to start, because I believe that the board at the time was thinking how to avoid problems and how to prepare all of us to the future. Unfortunately, nothing was done during more than 10 years. Then we started in 2008 and 10 with a lot of difficulties. However, many objectives were established, taking in account the context of that period and the possible context of the future. This was the goal. Right now, after 10 years of this plan, the plan was 2010-2020. We learned a lot of things. We were more or less able to put in place the plan. We need to train and to do more job around that. We are closest to review the plan for the next 10 years, maybe until 2013. This will be the job of the board, if there is a decision of the board, but possibly in the future, in the near future, next year, maybe you will start to review. In the near future, we have, at long term, middle term, we have a list of new challenges for the FIM. We need to be ready to face these challenges. The list is very long. I just will point out few of them where the board, together with the administration of the FIM, are working right now. For example, the electric motorcycles. We are talking a lot about electric motorcycles, but it's a really, really big challenge for all of us. It's not the case just to have few bikes running in a circuit. It's electric, oh, it's very nice, and so on, so on. It's a big challenge, because this kind of bikes is a completely new technology, completely different technology, nothing to do what we have right now, nothing, and no noise, and no many things. We had a strong experience a few years ago, beginning of 2000, when the industry, of course the industry, they built the bikes, decided to change from 2-stroke to 4 strokes. We had problems in road racing, in motocross, in enduro, in trial, in all our disciplines. It was a stress for all the FIM, this change decided by the industry. For many reasons, they decide, I know that you can imagine, but they decide to change from 2-stroke to 4-stroke. For us, it was a stress. You can imagine the stress if we change from the current bikes, motorcycles, engines to electric engines. It's difficult to imagine, but we have to prepare, and we are working on that. E-sport, something strange. E-sport is not games, but it seems that it exists. We were talking about that. We met some people from this federation, because it's a federation, international, and we need to understand what's happened with e-sport. People stay at home with a device, or what? Is something different, but is e-sport. Also, the Olympic Committee mentioned e-sport. For me, it was a surprise. I think also for all of you was a surprise to mention e-sport. Then we met in Geneva, these people, just to understand what's that. For us, it's very strange, but we had to take care of that as well. And communication is a big, big challenge. It's really a big challenge today. We have so many new devices, new platforms, is the name, that sometimes we feel we are lost among so many new platforms, what means, and so on. And if I am now, the administration, they are working to rebuild the communication department, but I want to tell you just one example. The example is Dorna is is the biggest promoter that we have. They have, with their platforms, internet platforms, they have around 20 million followers, 20 millions. Well, I think they had a problem with 20 million followers. We want to have 20 million followers directly, we don't have it. But what they decide this year, in January, they hired 30 persons, 30, just to follow Instagram, Twitter, blah, blah, I don't know the names, there are a lot. 30 persons, 30, just to follow what is happening, just to follow the followers. And we must, this is an era of too many changes in the last 20 years. Really, really, really important changes for the world, but we have to take care of that. What is happening there? If we don't care, one day or another will be out. Then this is a big concern. What's happened will happen with the communication. Not will happen, is happening, is a current issue, the communication. And of course, at the same time, we have current problems like the VES, I mean the Enduro, with this Enduro Extreme. In the administration, they are working very hard to talk with all the industries. Is one of the jobs that we had this year. I know that the sporting department is talking with all the industry in trial, in enduro, motocross, road racing, like never before, because we must be in touch with the manufacturers and avoid situations like we had right now for several reasons with the VES. And the other current problem is something difficult, really difficult to foresee, is the Venuk case. I think most of you heard about the Venuk case. This concerns not all European federations, but concerns all the European federations in the European Union. I mean, at least 28. But it's something really, really serious. I don't know if all of you are aware of that, but the Venuk case is difficult. Now, we are working with the Venuk case in Brussels and in other places, together with part of the member of FIM Europe. The president himself is involved in that, but it's something really serious. Well, what other challenge we have for the future? But this is a normal challenge when we think we need more competitors around the world. We have to think to have more competitors also in Europe. I want to stress something. I'm really happy to see the figures that were shown in the beginning, but I knew that before. That means that in Europe, you are working in the right direction. You have more events, more riders, and this is something, a trend, a very, very good trend, I think, thanks to your common efforts. And I would like to congratulate all of you for that. But in any case, from the world perspective, we need to have more riders all around the world. Also, maybe in some part of Europe, small countries, we need to help to develop their activities and so on. And we need more countries, not in Europe, because we are more or less full in Europe, but we need also more countries, because other international federations are growing, and we have the responsibility to grow and to see what's happening in so many countries that are not still affiliated to the FIM. We have 113 federations, it's good, but maybe we can grow the next years with 20 more, some in Asia, some more in Africa, and also in the Americas. We have to take care, and we are taking care, the board and the administration, about the growing of other sports. If other sports growing, that means also that we have to grow with more events, with a best image, but more people racing motorcycles around the world. More countries are involved in motorcycle sport. If the other grow, we have to grow. We cannot stay like this. We have to continue to grow and to find a way to grow also in these areas. Another important aspect is beyond the sport, is our image towards the authorities. Brussels, ONU, around the world, local authorities, national authorities, and so on. And this is a big job that we have to attend, and we are attending that. And I think we have a big challenge there, because one of our mission is we are advocacy institution, body for the motorcycle, not only sport, but also beyond the sport, more than beyond the sport. Well, I'm sorry, maybe I'm extending too much, but it's a unique opportunity, and I would like to thank your board for this occasion. We made changes in our status in 2010. Do you remember? I think most of you remember. These changes we made in 2010 were made because we made a strategic plan, and according to that plan, we have to improve our governance. Improve our governance, or change our governance, try to change. These changes made in 2010 came too late. Came too late because when we started to talk about that more than 20 years ago, we didn't make any strategic plan, any nothing. Just put in place the CONU, but with no plan. We can make, build, to put in place many bodies, but we need a plan. If no plan, you don't know where you're going to, and why you make what you're doing. Then, in 2010, these changes came later, and I believe that in the future more changes in the framework of the governance must be made. Just I want to remember one thing. It's part of the history, probably because I have so many years here, like many of you here in the FIM. I was at the moment I was part of the board, but I was coming from the CCR at the time. But we was about to lose everything in '92. And the reason was that in '92 and in the previous year, the FIM had an archaic governance. I don't know if archaic governance de la FIM. Then in '96, the board started to think how to modernize the organization. And finally, in 2010, we were able to make the first important change. Why we were about to lose everything? Maybe today, the name of this federation should be Fédération Internationale of Motorcycle Off-Road Sport. And you can imagine what it means like. We were about to lose everything because an archaic governance. Well, the main pillar for the future, apart to stay united, this is important, doesn't matter what's happened, we have to stay united, is the governance and the know-how. We are spending and preparing, the administration preparing a lot of things around the governance, around the know-how, help all the federations, the commissions to improve the knowledge. The knowledge is very, very important. What we learn until today is good, But we have to continue to learn. We have to continue to learn. We have to never stopping to learn. For this reason, we have to take care of so many things. I just show, this is a short list of the challenge for the future. It looks too many, but we have to do that. We have to do that. Of course, we need resources. We have to take care of finances of the FIM. We had a big problem in 2008 with the big world crisis. Then another less important crisis in 2012 when the change among euro and Swiss franc. But the administration was able to manage all this situation, and they also made important savings. And they proposed to the board this year to spend an important amount of money for the federation next year for programs, projects, and so on. I take this opportunity to thank for this job that will allow the board of the FIM to make a plan or the conditions to put this investment next year for all the national federations. Well, my last message is we cannot stay. We have to move. All the time we have to move. It's very comfortable, stay at home, nice garden, nice flowers. But maybe something will cross and destroy the house, the garden, the flowers, everything. We need to be united. To understand that we have problem, we have to stay united. And we have to understand the problem of the neighbor as well. Doesn't matter if our garden is green with nice flowers, what happened to the neighbor, because what is happening to the neighbor will have some influence to all of us, to us. Well, we have to move. We think that we are alive, and we want to be alive in the future. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you to all of you. Have a good Congress. Thank you. I learned.
We go in front. We go in front. So thank you very much, President Ippolito, for your words, and I will come back in my report about that. Let me also take the occasion to welcome the big delegation of the big delegation of the administration, headed by the CEO, Steve Eschliman, and Commission directors. That's exactly what we like, as many as possible. So also you are very, very welcome here in this Congress. Thank you very much for coming. Mr. Secretary General.
Thank you, Mr. President. We go on with the point number 2 of our agenda, and we start with the roll call of the federations. Andorra, Mr. Courbelier. Present. Austria, Ms. Neuhauser. Present. Azerbaijan, not present. Belarus, Mr. Visokis. Present. Belgium, Mr. Rentmeesters. Present. Bosnia-Herzegovina, Mr. Barjamovic. Present. Bulgaria, Mr. Nikolov. Present. Croatia, Mr. Lafter. Present. Cyprus, Mr. Kumasi. Present. Czech Republic, Mr. Naus. Present. Denmark, Mr. Holm. Present. Estonia, Mr. Kais. Present. Finland, Mr. Lundqvist. Present. France, Mr. Berthaud, present. FIM, Mr. Trajkowski, present. Germany, Mr. Kreutz, present. Great Britain, Mr. Collins, present. Greece, Mr. Kalaitsis, present. Hungary, Ms. Zoliomi, present. Iceland, not present. Ireland, not present. Israel, Mr. Zlomiansky, present. Italy, Mr. Kopioli, present. Kazakhstan, not present. Latvia, Mr. Freivalds, present. Liechtenstein, not present. Lithuania, Mr. Benedictavicius, present. Luxembourg, Mr. Kaufmann, present. Malta, not present. Moldavia, Mr. Golovicin, present. Monaco, Mr. Poirier, present. Montenegro, Ms. Lukic, present. Netherlands, Ms. Mulder, Mr. Mulder, sorry. Norway is clear. Norway, Ms. Westby, present. Poland, Mr. Witkowski, present. Portugal, Mr. Marquez, present. Romania, Mr. Olario, present. Russia, Mr. Zeus, present. San Marino, not present. Serbia, Mr. Mihailovic, present. Slovakia, Mr. Lazar, present. Slovenia, Mr. Breznik, present. Spain, Mr. Garcia, present. Sweden, Mr. Wessling, present. Switzerland, Mr. Clement, present. Turkey, Mr. Akulke, present. Ukraine, Mr. Yakimchuk, on the right, present. So, therefore, are present 40 federations. According to the Article 11.1.4 of the FIM Europe Status, the Ordinary General Assembly is formed by 50% plus one of the federations. So we have 40 federations on 47, namely 85.11%. Therefore, the Ordinary General Assembly is formed. We have 39 federations on 40 having voting rights. About the quorum, we have 31 federations with 2 votes for a total of 62 votes. 8 federations with 1 vote with a total of 8 votes. 1 federation only doesn't have any vote because not in order with its financial status. Totally, we have 70 votes with a quorum of 36 votes. Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Alessandro, for this information. So it's quite an impressive number here, 40 federations present. That's very good to hear. Question 3 on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of last year's General Assembly held in Rome. I have to ask you, are there any remarks? Against? Abstention? It's not the case. This means the minutes are unanimously approved.
And now we leave the floor to Dr. Wolfgang Serb for the report of the FIM Europe President. Please, Mr. Serb.
delegates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all most cordially to the General Assembly, and I thank the federations and the delegates for attending this Congress in Nantes. Thank you for that. Let me also express my thanks to the Fédération Française de Motocyclisme for hosting this Congress, that you invited us. It's a big pleasure and it's a wonderful seat, and we know when you invite, when you organize, then it's top level. So merci bien for that. It's already the 24th Congress since the foundation of UOM in 1996, a long time ago. And in all these years, the European federations have worked tirelessly to pursue their activities in sport as well as beyond sport, in training as well as in education. But there's just one thing that has not changed since 1996: our daily service and commitment to our affiliated federations and to the 6 regional associations. And this present report of this afternoon is not only about last year, but it's about the period from 2014 until 2018. In a nutshell, this period was very successful. And when we compare the period from 2010 to 2014 with the current one, 14 to 18, then you see substantial increases, and you saw it also in the video before, but it's worth to be mentioned. The number of members in the commissions has increased by 26%, from 581 to 731. Not a big number, and that's good like that. The number of championships has grown from 202 to 206. It's a plus of 2%. Also, the number of cups has increased from 74 to 95, plus 28%. Big growing in the number of licenses from 12,342 to 14,090, plus 14%. The number of decisions taken by the Executive Board and the Management Council has grown from 159 to 337, 112% plus. The number of press releases, and you know this is one of my hobbies, to be really active in press. Where's Fiametta? Yeah. Has grown from 623 to 1,214. It's a plus of 95%. And you see it. Sometimes you get 1 per day, 2 per day, 3 per day. On the weekend you get whatever. We need to do that. We need to be present. And it's all about this young, charming lady here. Thank you, Fiametta, for that. United, we stand strong. This was the motto of the Republic of Bulgaria for the presidency of the Council of the European Union for the first 6 months, 2018, which will end this presidency by midnight later this evening. And the motto, United, we stand strong, is also valid for us today, tomorrow, and in the years to come. President Vito has mentioned the project CONUS versus regions. This was high on the agenda last year. This was very high on the agenda. However, after a workshop on the occasion of the General Assembly in Andorra last year, the decision was taken not to go on. Too many questions have remained open. And we at FIM Europe have a very, very long-term and good experience with our current system of the 6 regional associations. They serve the sport in their respective area. And you know the 6: Alpe Adria, Mediterranean, Baltic, Balkan, Matzek, Nordic. This works pretty well. It's regional championships. They're successful at affordable costs and without traveling too long distances. And may I refer to what the speech that our president has made? I'm very happy about that because it's the future. And we are perfectly right in addressing this issue. A standstill is a step back. And the real question is what we have today and tomorrow. Are we relevant in 10 years? Are we relevant in 15 years? This is the big issue in reality. You know, we have politics and talking, and we all know what's going on. I don't need to talk about it, you know it. But what is really relevant, where are we in 10 years? Years ago, nobody touched institutions. Nobody. It was the FIM. Nobody touched us years ago. But now, time has changed so fast. This means a VES years ago was impossible. And now they go away, tuck, they do it. And there's only one thing, they must not be successful. I say it clear and loud like that. VES must not be successful. Because when it's successful, it's an example, okay, you can leave them, easy, you go. You make it via Instagram, Facebook, whatever, WhatsApp. You come together where it's wonderful. No, not at all. This is such a big issue, and it's good to hear that a lot of activities are taken to bring things together again. But also what we have to know, we need to communicate. We need to talk, manufacturers. Why does it work with the GP Commission in MotoGP, in motocross? We need to talk, we need to have them on the table, the manufacturers, the commissions, the teams. This is so important, this permanent communication. It's easier than ever to go away. We don't need that, and we don't want that, because this can be very, very critical. So I'm very happy that you have addressed that, because this is for me the key issue. Whatever happens today, the big thing is, where are we in 10 years? Where are we in 15 years? We're still there, we are still strong, we're still powerful, or things go somewhere, fading away. And we are not here for that. We are not here for that. So we will do whatever we can in our power to make it better. Therefore, united, we stand strong. There's no other way. There's no other way. Likes, dislikes, forget that. That's the big, big issue. And what we must not forget, tomorrow comes faster than ever. And the day after tomorrow, it comes even faster than ever. So this is what we must have in mind. And as long as we know that, then I think we are on a good way. Yeah, coming back to my report, we had a big number of championships, 40. We had 20 cups, all in all, almost 400 races. But this is you. It's the European federations. You're doing that with your clubs, with your organizers, with your volunteers. And they work hard to achieve their goals, to provide the best possible conditions for the athletes to carry out the sport, and details in a minute by our first Deputy President, Martin de Graaf. The development of the sport for men and women, especially on grassroots level and in close cooperation with the national federations, is our core business. Sport is our reason for being. And we have to do what we can to support it and to support the federations when it comes to sport. This is it, our core business and our reason for being. And also, we believe in the model of the pyramid, from national championships via continental to world championships. This is the way how it works. And this is the way what we have to do. And we have to make sure that our young riders, our talents, get the best possible conditions to develop their sport. Therefore, harmonization of rules, sporting as well as technical, on all levels, is a permanent task. Another one is education. We have the MXGP Academy in the context of the European events of motocross. Under our umbrella, under our flag, Martin de Graaf is responsible for that, where young and talented riders get the training on the track, on the World Championship track, to improve their skills and their techniques. And on top of that, and I was there sometimes, is the meeting with the parents, Friday afternoon. We ask the parents, let's talk, what to do. I mean, don't put too much pressure on the boy. The boy must have fun, or the girl. We get more and more girls, and this is good. So this is important that this MXGP Academy also focuses on train the trainer. We need more educated and well-trained trainers to bring that into their countries. There's a project, MXGP Rookie, together with the Dutch Federation, and also this goes on. Vito has mentioned it also before, the second pillar, the beyond sport activities. I come from the sport. I spent a lifetime in sport. I spent a lifetime in motocross, you know it. But very soon I understood, and especially talking to the likes of John Chatterton-Ross, talking to Jesper, they opened my eyes for that. They opened my eyes for this beyond sport, for the second important pillar. And it's important because one day this will help us to continue with our sport. This is also, John, we have a very good exchange of ideas, so thank you very much for that. This was really important for me, and it opened my eyes in a very, very good way. So just coming from the sport, 30 years now, I say, oh, the world is so much bigger. But sport is still on top of my agenda. Yeah, public affairs, road safety, our presence in Brussels, and political lobbying are important for us. We have to do it. We have to do more, because we need to be close to legislation and decision-making. And these decisions can have a substantial influence on motorcycling and riding, on-road as well as off-road. Electric mobility is just around the corner. We need to be ready for that. So yeah, it's a good idea that Dorna starts next year with these electric bikes, because when it's really there, we have already years of experience. So we are not just taken by surprise, oh, it's electric. We already know it. Motorcycle tourism is growing. That's also an important part. There are threats outside. And one of the biggest right now is this famous Vnuk case. The consequences of it can be tremendous for our sport. Providing insurance coverage to all motorized vehicles, that means it would be very, very expensive to insure. And unluckily, just a few weeks ago, the European Commission has published a proposal for the amendment of the Motor Insurance Directive, which is not in our favor. There's a need to join forces, and I really mean that, join forces with all the relevant partners. With all the partners they are there. We need to join forces. Of course, with FIA. They have a big department. It's just what I hear. John told us there are 50 people caring about that. We need to join all possible partners to be strong and united and to make our point. Because what we want, the directive should be only relate to accidents caused in context of traffic, not on somewhere else, on some private land. Or in other words, take motorsport out of this directive. And we need to move on, we need to go on, and maybe one day, maybe we need to be even more active, and maybe we need to join forces, and maybe we need our riders as testimonials, or maybe we need to go to Brussels with Rossi Marquez, with Herlings, with Tony, just to say, gentlemen, not like that, this is wrong, what you're doing is wrong, you destroy the sport. You destroy the sport, and also that's always a good argument in Brussels, and you destroy hundreds of thousands of working places. Then politicians listen, because they want to be re-elected in some years. To destroy working places is never a good idea. So then we have to use all what we can. And there's no plan B. We need to win. And I know it's in good hands now, so we are working on that. We have very good cooperations, and I'm happy to have gentlemen here from FEMA, from FIFA. We need to work together. That's so important, because it's the passion for the sport. We have the passion for the motorcycle, what we have. And as long as we talk, and as long as we develop ideas, we're in a good way. Talking is here most important. We might have our positions, that's okay, but we need to talk and we need to listen. What is our partner saying? Why is it important for him? Can we accept that? Because when we want, and we know that, we're all in politics, when we want to work together, we can. When we want to go for a compromise, we can. When we want to be difficult, we can be very difficult at times. But to be difficult is really not the option. So therefore, Dr. Willing is here, thanks God, we keep on working with this. More details by Silvio Manicardi also in a minute. Environmental standards we have, Europe has high standards. Of course, it's our permanent responsibility to take care about that. In a nutshell, ride green and keep it clean. So what's now on the top of the agenda for us in the years to come? To stay close to the European federations, to support the activities, requests and projects. FIM Europe is not only the biggest continental union in terms of affiliated federations, 47, but also in terms of the biggest number of riders, licenses, organizers and events. But this means strength, but also responsibility within the FIM family. That's most important. We have world organizations, so this is what we have to understand. Sport in Europe is well on the way. Championships are in full swing, and we simply continue to keep this momentum. As I said before, public affairs, road safety, our presence in Brussels, political lobbying has to be taken very serious, and we simply do that. Important, our financial situation is stable. Very, very, very important, because we know we deal with federation money, and we must be so careful. So we are stable today and also in the years to come, and our treasurer, Michael Sikora, will give you his position and his report on that. We raise awareness for FIM Europe via communication, press releases, FIM Europe magazine, and we need to increase our presence in the social media. First and foremost, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat. Ask your kids, in the meantime, there's already 10 other things which are modern, and they will help you to install it on your mobile phone. They know so much better than. When we want to reach young people, and we have to reach young people, we need to be there. And again, you know my hobby, Facebook and likes, and I ask you, we started with, in 14, we started with 2,700 likes, and in the meantime, we're close to 9,100. Is it enough? No, it's a good step, but I really hope that we break through the 10,000 very, very soon. But it will also only work when you play the game with us. This means you have friends, you have relatives, you have kids, just tell them. Send it and put on the likes. And it's important also when we talk to promoters, to sponsors, because they want to say, you're on Facebook, and how many likes you have? I know it's difficult to like a federation. The people, they like riders, they like football stars, they like pop stars. It's clear. It's not easy to like a federation. I know that. But we don't give up. This means let's move, and I really hope that we can celebrate the 10,000 very, very soon. Let me talk about our secretariat in Rome, under the leadership of Alessandro Sambuco. They carry out an incredible job, and you know it in your daily contacts with Rome. You send an email, and you get an answer. In a minute, in 2 minutes, in an hour, the same day. And this is my understanding. So Rome works pretty well, and also the staff, the crew in Rome. I see the boys and girls here. Outstanding. That's exactly the role models, my understanding of a secretariat as a service center for the federations. Bravo for that. And Alessandro, you're the head of that. Grazie mille. Very, very good. Yeah, we have a good cooperation with the administration in me. There are frequent... Thank you very much. Well deserved. Well deserved. We have a good cooperation, which is clear. What else? With the administration in me. There are contacts on a permanent basis with the president, with the CEO, and that's it. Meetings of the FIM Europe commissions have been and will be organized in the presence of the respective FIM commission directors, working together, harmonization. That's the way to do. There's one target, and that's unchanged. A strong and united Europe with strong and active federations. So in conclusion, let me thank to the members of the Executive Board, the Management Council, the Commissions, and of course you, the European federations, for the trust, the commitment, and the excellent cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Not any comment. We pass to the approval. If you are against, please show your red cards. Abstentions? Therefore, the report is approved.
So next on the list is the report of the Treasurer. May I ask Michael Sickero to give his report? Michael, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Dear delegates, dear guests, dear Management Council members, for the fourth and the last time in this term, I would like to present to you the FIM Europe financial report. This time, as we have a really busy agenda, I will not draw your attention to the really big figures which are there, and I will try to make it quite, let's say, fast. You all received all the materials, so I think you had the chance also to take a look at this, which the numbers are really good. First of all, I would like to thank to all our partners for their continuous support and real true partnership. Also to the FIM for the big support. Also thanks for the reasonable management of our resources by the FIM Europe staff and our representatives. We managed to keep almost all positions within prescribed amounts in the original budget. On the other hand, we received more revenue from calendar fees and riders' licenses, which shows the European events are more and more interesting for our members and license holders. During this mandate, we have also managed to increase FIM Europe income for more than 40%. Final FIM Europe budget shows expenditures on the level of almost €1,113,000, which is over 56,000 less than we originally forecasted. On the other side, income realization exceeded for over €56,000 more than original amount and finished with a result of about €1,225,000. This means that the profit of over €112,000 was reached. And during the meeting held on the 17th March at the Management Council meeting unanimously decided to address the positive result 2017 to the following funds, which was created. 33,000 euros for the fund for voting delegates for this Congress, 30,000 euros for the fund for fiscal consultancy, 20,000 euros for the FIM Europe officials clothing, 15,000 euros for the new bookkeeping software. Remaining 40,763 euros will be addressed as usually to the capital fund. Let me close this short report with expressing my thanks to Silvia Monatti for her brilliant and fully professional work, and also to our Secretary General, Alessandro Sambuca. I would like also to express my appreciation to all the members of Internal Auditors Panel for excellent and smooth collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael, for this very, very good, encouraging report. Next on the agenda is number 6, a report of the auditors, and I ask Mr. Laurent Delbruck to give his position, to give his information.
Mr. President, dear friends, as you know, the responsibility of the auditors is to give his opinion about the financial statements. Financial statements, that means the balance sheet, profit and loss statement, and income statement. So what we have done, we have, of course, carried out the controls. It was in the middle of March that we went to the office in Rome together with my colleagues, Mr. Kopilov and Mr. Nivala, and with the other people, Mr. Sikora, Treasurer, and Mrs. Monati and Mr. Diamantini. 2017 was a good financial year for FIM Europe. You have heard the result. First, we have looked in detail at the budget realization and the balance sheet. Maybe some remarks. The liquid assets are very good, really good. Maybe we can advise the Management Council to study better opportunities. It means a positive rate by another bank, or maybe, why not, thinking about to buy an office and no more to rent an office. The situation of the clients is very good. Thank you for taking into account our remarks from last year. We have been looking at the statistics of the license, and you are seeing that's very good. No special remarks on this matter. On the cost side, we look in details at post-E4 collaborations, C4 traveling FIM Europe officials, D11 subsidies, and at least D13 miscellaneous. About the last, we propose to reduce this post in the future. On the income side, we look at post E10 sanctions and protest fees. We don't have remarks on this. Together with my colleagues, I will say that we receive all the papers and all the information we need. We also got a lot of information about VAT registration since the beginning of the year 2017. In our opinion, the financial statements for the year 2017 comply with Swiss law and the company's articles of incorporation. We recommend that the financial statements for the year 2017 submitted to be approved. Furthermore, the internal auditors propose to the General Assembly to discharge the Management Council and the FIM Europe Treasurer for the liability for the 2017 management. In my name and also in the name of Mr. Kopilov and Mr. Nivala, thanks Michael Sikora, Treasurer, and also Silvia and Andrea from the FIM Europe Financial Department for their help and their assistance in their work carrying out the audit. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Mr. De Broek, for this report. You know how important it is to have auditors. We really need to be checked, and I'm happy about that, and I'm happy to hear the good results. Next on the agenda is question 7, which is the 2017 balance sheet. And again, it's Michael Sikora who has the floor.
As always, we send the balance sheet to all of the delegates. I think you well received them. So it looks, we can say, as normal. The result of the year is, of course, added out there. The funds which I mentioned will be created, of course, in the 2018 balance sheet. So if you have any questions to this, please ask.
Michael, this is for the Guinness Book of Records.
Excuse me?
Wonderful. Okay. So you got the report, you have received the documentation, you got the report. Are there any comments, remarks from your side? That's not the case. Then we pass to the approval. You against, then show your red card. Abstention, you show the white card. Not the case. So therefore, the 2017 balance sheet is approved. Thank you very much for that. And this brings me immediately to position 8 of the agenda, which is the budget 2018, and it's again Michael Sikora.
Thank you, Mr. President. The budget prepared for the year 2018 foresees the balance result of €1,156,000 euro on both sides of income and the same amount on expenditures. Unfortunately, this year we finished cooperation with a quad cross promoter and vintage events, but we acquired 2 new sponsorship from Love My Training or new promoter for Street Freestyle. This means that we have almost the same revenue from our sponsors and partners. We also budgeted more income for calendar fees and riders' licenses, as we know it was more also last year. On the other hand, this year's expenditures are foreseen to be the same level like year before, with some small corrections which comes up during the budget realization. I would like to finalize with stating my gratitude for all FIM Europe members for their outstanding cooperation over the last 4 years. Thank you very much.
Michael, but you do not want to watch the football at 4 o'clock because you're so fast.
Poland is playing.
Poland, sorry. So, remarks, comments from your side on that? That's not the case. Then we come to the approval. When you're against this report, then show your red cards. If you are for abstentions, please show the white cards. Not the case, so then I can state that the budget 2018 is unanimously approved. Thank you very much for that. So we move on to question 9 of the agenda, and this is the report of the Sporting Council Chairman, Mr. Martin de Graaf. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Dear delegates, ladies and gentlemen, as usual, I'll report all disciplines, so don't be afraid. If I read my report, it costs more time than I give a short summary, details of all the disciplines. In general, we had Thursday a very good meeting with the sporting chairman, relaxed and positive. And they had the same idea about the meetings on Friday with their commissions. And this morning we evaluated what they did yesterday, some new proposals, and that's very good. So I'm happy with that. My report is based on the reports of all chairmen. And these chairmen worked hard the last year with their commissions. It's amazing what they do on events, the hours they spent on it, perfect. The Management Council is satisfied with the developments of these competitions. You will receive, and you can read it at your own time at home, with the minutes of this report, the complete report of the Sporting Council, the sporting facility, the sporting commissions. We have also new members of commissions and members who said goodbye to the commissions. In September, next meeting in September, the Management Council will talk about the members and nominate all members. So after that, you receive the information about it. Then we go to the first discipline, and that is road racing. Sylvia, we can road racing. With Commission Chairman Egil Solkar, who stops after this period, but okay. We have combined races, a lot of combined races in the Superbike, in the CFR Repsol, Alpe Adria, with a good cooperation with the officials over there and our promoters behind this. Very good, good opportunities for riders to take part in road race events. Hill climb, we have this year, 5 events, and on the calendar for next year already, 6. So it's very positive in 5 countries. Hill climb, spectacular, good races, a lot of competitors, a lot of spectators most of the time, so good competition. Mini road race. This year we have only 1 event in Italy, and next year we try to have 3 events. Also, Netherlands apply for this on a special mini track in Assen, where this weekend the World Motocross, the GP, will take place, and I'm here. So Donna did not change the date, so we have to go on. But this special junior track is beautiful, and also with a training camp behind or before this, it will be a success next year. Super Mono is back on the calendar. Was disappeared 1 year and come back, and bit by bit we get more riders. And Super Street freestyle is a new discipline. In Hungary it's popular, and we try to have a calendar with more events than now the case. Endurance is a very nice sport. Long rides, many laps for the racers in teams of 2 riders. And we have 4 events, 2 in France and 2 in Germany. But at this moment we have a slight problem with the licenses because of you need a number of minimum 6 teams to gain points for the championship. So we have to promote this, communicate this better to the riders, to the federations, and then we'll have real good races. Drag racing. And the drag race was Palle Lind. Palle, just behind Egil. And also Palle will stop after this period, and we have a successor in mind already. Okay. This commission put a lot of effort last year in the technical rules, also for the juniors. And most of the time it are safety rules, because it's a very fast sport. Safety is important in this. And this junior class is important for the future of drag racing. Very popular at this moment is the super street bike, with more competitors every year, more license holders, very good races, close to each other. And this is not cheap, but less expensive than the other classes. Well, we have hoped to have a discussion in the coming period again with our promoter. We have to try the Scandinavian rounds in our competition again. It was the case a few years ago, but in this moment it doesn't succeed in this. And 2 rounds in Europe is too small for that. So we go on with the negotiations with the promoter. Then we have the next discipline, motocross, snowcross, and the chairman, Eddie Hurt. Eddie. Let's start with snowcross. That's easy, because we have 1 good event in combination with the World Championship in Finland on a high level, very good, successful event. The motocross EMX classes inside the MXGPs, promoted by Ustream, are very, very successful. A high number of riders, but not only that, also high quality of riders. If you see, for example, the 250, the most popular class, this short to each other, these classes are the next world champions in 3-4 years. I'm sure, certain about that. And Ustream knows that the pyramid real works from the 65-85 to these classes to the world championship. It's very good, so very popular. Sometimes 70 riders, not at the starting gate, it's not possible, but to qualify. Well, the 65 and 85 zone rounds are also ongoing, with a number of entries which is better than the last years, also on a high level, and in a few weeks we have in the Czech Republic the final race. Quads, EMX quads is nice, but it's a little decreasing. It needs attention from federations, from license holders, from us, from everywhere. We have to take care of this class. It must not disappear. And most of the time they compete together with the World Championship sidecars, and it's a very good combination. Also the Women Cup, 4 races this year, very good. So we have to go on with it, perhaps with 1 round more, not more because they have the competitions in their own country. We have also the World Championship, but we are glad and happy with these women's competition. The sidecars and Quads of Nations will take place in Denmark this year. That's always good events, and I hear from the chairman that they have also a long-term calendar for the coming years, so there's a lot of interest from federations to organize this. The European Motocross of Nations for young riders and women will organize again in Gdansk, and hopefully with better weather. Marianne Super, yes. Not new for Finland, but new for us is the Watercross Cup, European Cup. I mean in August in the north of Finland. We're curious about this, we hear how it is, and after that we go on with possible more events. Our president told already the Motocross Academy, very successful. Every year more federations request for riders training and trainers training. In March, for example, they went to Russia, and I mean that they had 29 trainers. It's very, very good and very positive. And more than 120 trainers are certificated. Now they have a certificate, and these certifications are important because they have a big group around them in their country to train. So it's a snowball effect, that the group is getting bigger, which is well educated. And in Assen in September, during the motocross, around the motocross, we have a special training camp for women. And the Women's Commission yesterday had a meeting and they agreed with it. A few federations, another item, few federations are a little concerned about the sound production of motocross bikes. We don't doubt about the measurement. That's good, this method, on a World Championship and European Championship level, but perhaps not so good on national or on club level. And then you notice that there's a high pressure on tracks, circuits in density populated areas. We discussed this with a few groups, and of course the solution should be put on a training circuit where you have a daily or weekly training, 30 electric bikes, and the problem is solved. That's so, the French example. It's very good, but it needs some discussion, and we have to talk with several groups about it, because too many clubs have a closed circuit at this moment and have to go to other tracks or stopped. That's a pity. Then we go to Supermoto. Ivo Chetanov. Where is Ivo? Ivo. He stands up. That's Ivo. In an early stage, and Ivo was happy about that, we had already a meeting with representatives of the promoter with a new name, XIEM, and to concentrate the events on the European level, and the motocross of the Supermoto of Nations is an FIM event. And now they're talking again about the World Championship and European Championship. This will be discussed in the coming period. But anyhow, the concentration on the European Championship was an occasion to look at the rules, and the Commission, in cooperation with the promoter, simplified the starting procedure. Because less people, less time, very simple, and everyone is happy with that. The Commission, but also the promoter, has regular meetings with teams and riders. That's positive, to involve each other and to talk about it. And also the Light Trophy in this Supermoto must affect young riders to take part. So please, we go on with that. The next is Enduro and a rally. Marco Bolsonaro. Marco. Yesterday I had a meeting already with his commission, and before I went to bed, I received his report already. So it was too short to read everything and to have seen all your proposals, but the rest of your proposals we will treat with it in September. Successful enduro. The first event in Italy, more than 150 riders. Very positive. Some years ago, we started the discussion with the FIM, and this weekend also again, and about some kind of cooperation with the FIM World Championship Enduro. It's not so easy, but it's a discussion still in progress. Perhaps you can do something with the juniors, but you must understand that our riders has made a choice for this competition, this level, and in the World Championship is different. But we keep in contact about this and must find solutions. But it's not only enduro, what Marco has in his commission, with his commission members. Super enduro, successful in Poland, and we have an event in Sweden and in Spain. And also here we can say we have a good cooperation with the officials of the FIM. Bacchus is another question, because of we skipped the UTVs because they don't fulfill the rules in the European legal, how do you call it, road users, and then we have to say, okay, we don't want to have UTVs in our competition, and if federations are allowed to do this in their own competition, is okay, but not for the European Championship. But it's a little decreasing, Bacchus, but perhaps it will go on. We have a few big events, but not all. Extreme enduro is very difficult, and no applies for next year, so we discuss in the coming period how we go on with that. And then we have the Snowmobile Cup, also very nice in the north of Finland. Plenty of riders. And if you want to know how heavy this is, ask this to 2 competitors and 2 participants, the president and the secretary general of the Finnish Federation. They feel it now, I think, after a few months. Cross country is a very nice event in Latvia and Sweden in 2017, and this year we planned 4 events. Then the rally side. Well, the Hellas Rally, successful in Greece, a lot of riders, good, and perhaps one of the Greece guys will be the promoter of the series of these rallies. And the rally is planned in Spain, in Romania, and Italy will follow. Good events, and if you're not allowed to ride in countries not on the road but off the road, it's a good opportunity to have nice rallies. So, that's that. Trial Commission. Anders Minken. Not everyone is leaving. Not everyone is leaving, but also Anders said, I stop as chairman of this commission, and also we have found a successor in this case. And we come on later with that. Still a good number of participants, but the top year was 2016. And Anders said all the time, well, when the FIM started the Trial 2 and the women, we have less European Championship riders. Well, we can complain about that. That's not the way to do it. As long in both competitions the number of participants is growing, we are happy for the trial sport. And then we have to have the goal as commission with our members to work on the future and to take care of the recruitation of many young riders to take part in trial. And also here we have the possibilities, they have a class already in electric bikes. Also for young riders, for the youth. So it's very good, and the Commission will progress with this and also electric bikes. Thank you. And then we have the track racing and Piotr Szymanski. Thank you, brothers. And this Commission has also to deal with 12 kinds of European Championships and Cups, a great number. Speedway, promoted by One Sport, very good on a high level, very good events, sporting level, but also the organization level. Is Perfect. And according to the vision of the Commission, the under 21 and under 19 young riders will develop in this sport as well. The growth track has a good level and stable at this moment, and we hope to go on with that as well in sidecars as in solos. And the ice race competition was this year in Russia with final 1 and final 2. You must have the place where we are sure of ice, and that was the case in this in Russia. Well, the cooperation with the CCP of the FIM is very good. They work together wherever they do it, and even the CCP director has a meeting before the next meeting in October from our commission, and we appreciate that. Thank you for that. We also take care of the safety of riders. It can be more expensive to have safety rules, but it's necessary for the riders. So, thank you for that. Motorball. Pascal Resco-Jacot. Pascal. Very busy, this commission, with the preparation of the next European Championship event in Russia in August. In 2017, we have a wonderful event in 2 locations in the south of France. A lot of spectators, very good event, very good matches, 7 teams. And also here, we saw that the French junior team demonstrated the electric bikes, the use of electric bikes. And I'm sure after the presentation of Sébastien Poirier yesterday, we saw that the French Federation is far ahead in this development of all of us. And it's a good development. We follow you. And you can force us. It's very good. Well, in Kovrov, coming back to Russia, the organization did everything to make it successful. They built a very big grandstand for a lot of spectators. They expect a lot of spectators. Kovrov is about 300 kilometers east of Moscow, and it will be good, I'm sure. Then, when we have the meeting last year in autumn in Fiumicino, we gave always the smallest meeting room to the Motorball Commission. No. We need a bigger room, said Pascal, because all members were there and representatives of the organization of Russia. So it was a good meeting. So next time you get automatically a bigger room. The second event they planned, that was a kind of European clubs league, and they tried to set up that for next year. It was too short to implement it now already. A lot of preparation, and the active countries in motorball have a big season with a lot of matches. So it was difficult to implement, but they work on that for the future. They go on. And also this commission has a long-term calendar. Next year is Germany, and then we go to Belarus or not, then we swap with another country, but it's, this commission works hard on it, and thank you for that. Vintage. Igor. Well, Chairman José Campos Costa was Igor. Chairman Campos Costa asked on his own request, he's replaced by Igor, because he was too busy with business and so on and so on. So the commission agreed with that, and also we agreed with you as a chairman. Vintage races, not electric. No. That takes some time. Not now. Perhaps we have in 30 years vintage electric bikes. We don't know. But 4 events in road race, and then happily the Regularity Cup is back in Slovakia with 2 events. We have vintage enduro, France and Italy, and we're discussing with the Italian Federation about the 3rd one. That's not settled yet, but we go on with the negotiations. We have a motocross event after a lot of discussion in France, very good. And we also have negotiations with a legend, there's a promoter in Donington, who can be the promoter of other events in the endurance legends. And well, it's positive, but we need more federations, and I'm sure that in every federation is part of you as a federation for vintage. Please come with these vintage guys to this commission and take part in events. Finally, we are grateful to our federations and organizers for the efforts they have for this sport. You do it with our officials together. And well, then next meeting is in September, I told you, then we talk about the commission, the management council talks about the nomination of the commission members and the chairman, definitely. And I would like to thank all volunteers, you as volunteers of your federations, but also our volunteers. And of course, it's said many times, and I say it again, the staff of Rome did indeed a great job, also in this case. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin, for this report. And what I especially liked was that you presented the chairman of the ladies of the various commissions, and they got a well-deserved applause because they represent us wearing the blue shirt weekend by weekend, and they do their best to bring Europe to this level. So thank you very much for that, and also for all of you who take this responsibility out in the field. Thank you very much for that. So next in line is Mr. Silvio Manicardi to report on the non-sporting activities. Silvio.
So, thank you to all, ladies and gentlemen. I hope not to be too long. First of all, I want to thank to the work of all the commissions. I will nominate the chairman of every commission because I am second president, but I don't want to be second to Martin. So I have to do myself. So, public affairs. There are few very important items. The majority, our president has already mentioned. Jean-Pierre Moreau. But I want also to nominate Palmino Poli and Dolph Willinger, who represented FIVA and the FEMA. We have the pleasure to have them in our General Assembly. Our cooperation is growing. We have different meetings. We have trying to have united ideas on certain important matters that we have to discuss in Brussels. Because the worst thing we can do, we are quite weak. Motorcycle world is a small one compared to car and the other one. And if everyone goes with a different idea, they don't care at all. They don't care already, so not so much, but if we are divided, it's a total disaster. So there is a lot of work that we are doing, and I think that we have already taken a good step, and already our image has grown being united, also not just as a federations, but also with the other federations. So I have also to thank the FIM and Damiano, the work they have done in Brussels, because we have a new, stronger contract with our lobby company that works. And I think that also due to this effort, we can increase our presence, also with John, obviously. The problem that we have are so many, because, as I told you, we are small. Sometimes they don't care, they forget us. But little by little, we have been considered as vulnerable users. This is not a negative. You have to consider from a positive point. It means that finally they think that we are on the road, and they have to make legislation to take care about us, and not just that they can squeeze us on the traffic and no one will take care. Our president already told about the Vnuke case. When we started to talk with the Vnuke case, with the Rinaldelli, we say that is a bullshit. I don't want to listen to this stupid matter. But actually, I must say I was totally underestimating the importance of this case. It's growing. The direction that it's taking could be very dangerous for the sport. We are working together with FIA, who have more or less, they have the same problem that we have, because if they will go in the same direction as they want, there will be a big threat on the sport. Because, for example, I make you a stupid example. We have markets who crash and break a leg of Valentino. Markets will be responsible. But if markets has crashed because his motorcycle is seasoned, the team will be responsible, Honda will be responsible. So he opened a world that you start from one side, you never know where you finish. So please pay attention also in your country when they talk about this case, report it to us, report it to John. John is our antenna to Damiano. We must really pay a lot of attention to this matter. They say that I am the electric man. Actually, you know that the first car who exceeded 100 kilometers per hour was electric a few years ago. Yesterday we had the conference. Obviously, not all you were there, but I just wanted to say a couple of words on the conference. Why we did the conference on electric? Because the world is moving there. European Commission is strongly moving there. They have programs that you can read the Gear 2030. They are considered to spend a lot of money to have the industry capable in Europe to work on electric. At the moment, all the technology is coming from Asia. There are millions of euros ready if our companies in Europe put it together to develop. So that's a trend. You will see also the acceleration because there is so much money that you cannot believe it. And why we need a clean? The world market, the production market, they expect in 2050, so in many years from now, to reach around 150 million motorcycles. 150 million motorcycles. If they are all polluting, can you imagine the problem? At the moment, already we are exceeding 35 million units production per year. So we are, and not in Europe. In Europe, we have 1.5 million. But worldwide. So the world authorities are really looking seriously on this matter, and we have to expect. Kimco has just launched the electric scooter in Taiwan. Honda will launch a new scooter with removable batteries. So the world is going in that direction. You have to consider also from the sport viewpoint. The Commission is discussing all the matters that deal with Brussels. I don't want to bother you with all the things. I just wanted to point out 2 or 3 things. So, Niels. Okay. Niels has done really a good job. When he first candidate, I asked him, are you a motorcyclist? So he showed me a picture with a nice Harley, 3 beautiful girls. So I said, this is the right person for us. And he has really pushed the Commission. And especially this tour assistant program, obviously with all the members of the Commission from Greece, etc., has worked very well. We started the first one, and we had a certain number of people, and few of them immediately found a job because they had the paper that we gave in saying, you were good, you exceeded our expectations. This year, we made the program for 15 presents. We were obliged to ask to increase the number because we had 18 people who paid to come. And now we are planning another one. And we wanted to move north, so we are discussing with KNV, maybe, hope. I hope you will be able to support because we are strongly believing in this initiative. We need the people who can handle groups. We know how difficult it is to handle a group. You have a tremendous experience on this one. I think you can really do with this. I think we can really go far away, having a lot of people from the other part of Europe that maybe is difficult that arrive up to Spain, etc. And we're still working on this motorcycle-friendly hotel. We know that it's difficult. We know there are a lot of other group, association, etc., who are promoting the hotels. In this sense, the Commission is really thinking and working and checking which is the best direction to promote our motorcycle-friendly hotel. So in the near future, I think we will be ready to show the direction, probably with the contract, etc., with other groups, because alone we are not enough strong to promote. We don't, frankly speaking, I was a little bit. I didn't like so much the response that we had from the federations. Some federations were quite responsive, some, I would say, we expect a little more as a cooperation. So, environment, Adamo. Adamo has made a lot of work in the Commission with all the members, and they published already some time ago the environmental booklet that is still a milestone in our world, how to have to handle things. But the Commission has realized that they cannot just be the policeman on the circuit, just to check if the toilet is clean, if the map is there, the mat is there, etc., etc. So they have decided to enlarge the vision. And they are launching a kind of 2 programs on the site. So they will revise the site, and they will have 2 new areas. One is what is new, and the other one is environmental highlights. This will help the Federation in a much more positive way to know what is happening in the environment and why could be the threat and why could be the opportunities. So they had the discussion internally how to revise our site so that to have a more clear position. And I'm sure that we will make a very good work because they have really a lot of know-how. After that, there are many other things that we are also discussing about the checklist, etc., but some more technical things. I don't want to bother you all the day about this fact. So, Steen. Where is Steen? You are there. So this is a poor guy because he has so much things to do. He's a secretary of his federation, etc. But he's still passionate to this. He's giving his support. He's really working very hard. And I'm sure that they've already brought some good ideas. Unfortunately, we had a program of merchandising for different reasons. We could not go on so quick as we expected, but we hope we have clarified a few points. I'm sure that we can progress. And what they are doing now, apart of the many things, but what I wanted to point out is that they had 3 different kind of questionnaires. One was provided by FIM, one was provided by FIM Europe, and another one provided to our French contact by SMC, because they paid the survey, but they gave it to us. Now the Commission is working on the 3 different questionnaires with the different federations to pick up the important point so that we could have finally something to sell to sponsors, to people, etc., because we can say, here we are, this we are. At the moment, when we talk with sponsors, it's very difficult to say who we are, because we don't know ourselves. So by the analysis of these questionnaires, we hope to have enough data to say, we are. Please give us all the money, okay? Well, this was my very quick overview. You will have all the information, all the material with the different minutes, etc. But I wanted to point out just a few points that I think are very important. For me, thank you very much.
Silvio, thank you very much for your report, and you also understand how to address the audience in a good way. Also, you mentioned the chairman of your commissions, once again, very well deserved, very good. You mentioned the FNUC case, which can give us some headache in the future, and as you perfectly said, We might have a crash. We have us on the weekend. There's a crash. What does it mean? Lorenzo crashes with somebody. We stop the race. Police comes, makes photos and checks everything. Not possible at all. This is a box of Pandora. This box of Pandora must not be opened. And it must not develop into our Bosman case. You remember football, transfer rights, years ago. And the Bosman case changed a lot in football, and we do not need this as a Bosman case for us. So with all our energy, power, relations, whatever, this box must not be opened. Take at least motorsport out of that. So once again, Silvio, excellent job. Thank you very much for this information you gave us. 11 on the agenda is anniversaries. Mr. Secretary General.
We have to celebrate the anniversary for the Federation of Cyprus. Please, the President of the Federation, for 40th anniversary. And then point number 12 of our agenda, allocation of honorary titles. The first one is to Mr. Wolfgang Glass, Honorary FIM Europe Vice President. Please, Mr. Glass.
Dear friends, colleagues, you know me since a long time, and you know also my passion for the track sport. This weekend is the Speedway Grand Prix of Horsens in Horsens of Denmark, and I should be there, the jury president. I am here. You can see how honored I feel to get this diploma. Thank you very much.
Mr. Hans Rudolf Hein, Honorary Chairman of the Motocross Commission. Please, Mr. Hein.
Dear friends, we are here in Nantes, in France, and several people from you know that I am, after my retirement, living more and more in France, in the south. So please allow me that I say my small words for thank you in French. Monsieur le Président, Mesdames et Messieurs, chers amis, j'ai été très heureux de cet honneur de tout mon cœur. Après 18 ans de coopération, dont 4 ans à la tête de l'UEM et plus tard le FIM Europe, Commission Motocross et Neige, et plus de 50 ans en général, en total, dans le sport moto et motocross, j'ai décidé fin d'année 2016 de terminer ma carrière internationale. 50 ans, ça suffit. Cependant, je resterai étroitement lié au motocross, mais à nouveau, principalement par mon home club à Bilstein, en Allemagne, membre de ADAC. Et à vous tous, une dernière fois, au revoir et merci.
Monsieur, merci beaucoup. Formidable.
The next one is so close to me. Mr. Jan Stovicek, Honorary Chairman of the Judicial Panel, please. Jan.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for this honorary title. I'm glad I had the pleasure to serve as a member and chairman of the judicial panel of the UEM in that time for 12 years, which is a long time. And now I have other mission within the FIM Europe, but I'm very glad that I have successors in judicial panel, very good lawyers, and young coming lawyers, because I think it's important to have young people in commissions, also in judicial panel, like Kaspar Skulikov, Sirianak, others who are doing a great job. And I hope there will be more and more young people coming to these commissions, and they will make a good job for our organization. So thank you very much again.
Let me say that today for Germany is 3-1. The next one is Karl Vögele, Honorary Chairman of the Motorball Commission. Please, Karl.
Dear friends, I'm very happy to receive the title Honorary Chairman of Motorball. I was working in Motorball 45 years in national sport and 15 years in international sport for UEM and FIM. And as I heard that I become the title, so I was very, very happy. Thank you very much.
And now we go in the core of this General Assembly, and we start with the procedure for the elections. But first of all, I propose to the General Assembly to appoint Ms. Gidre Janisauske, Mr. Ivo Tsvetanov, and Ms. Julia Walter as independent scrutineers in order to supervise the elections and count the votes. They are independent because they are coming from federations not involved in the elections. So, if you are against, please show your red cards. Abstentions? Thank you to appoint the scrutineers and to the scrutineers for their cooperations. We move. As stated by the Article 11.1.7 of the FIM Europe Status, the General Assembly will be chaired by the FIM Europe President except in case of the election of the President. In this case, the President is replaced. I propose to the General Assembly to give the task to Mr. Jacques Boll to chair the General Assembly from this moment until the end of the President's election. If you are against, please show your red cards. Abstentions? Please, Mr. Boll. Thank you. In the meanwhile, I want to give you some information about the procedure. For the election of the President, you have a voting paper with 2 names. The voting shall be carried out by deleting the candidate from the list that the voter does not wish to elect. You have to delete the name that you don't wish to elect. If you delete both names, the vote is considered as an abstention. and therefore not counted as valid votes cast. If you let as not deleted both names, the vote is not valid. Please, Mr. Bull.
Merci Alexandro. On va donc passer à l'élection du président de la FIM Europe. Mais avant cela, je vais donner donc la possibilité aux deux candidats de se présenter. Et on va commencer donc par le candidat présenté par la Fédération grecque. Il s'agit de M. Styglianos Korelis, qui a 5 minutes pour se présenter.
Dear friends, my candidacy in the present election is not a product of self-centeredness and self-promotion, neither confrontation nor rivalry, but emerged from my democratic obligation of equal participation in the proceedings, an obligation that over the years, and with the generation of the concept of democracy, most of us have forgotten. This is why the candidates are very few in the current electoral process. However, since participation in the process is the cornerstone of democracy, minimizing it can lead to administrative absurdity as a result of passiveness and non-participation. I would not like to say anything more about my candidacy because in such speeches I never heard anyone blame himself. As to, however, I am competent and able to offer from the position of President, you are called upon to judge it yourself. Thank you.
Merci. On va donc demander maintenant au deuxième candidat, présenté par la Fédération autrichienne, M. Wolfgang Schroeb, de se présenter. M. Schroeb, vous disposez de 5 minutes également.
Good afternoon. I don't need this list. I'll make a total different speech. 4 years ago, Krakow, you remember that? Many of you have been there. I was candidate for first time for FIM Europe president. And of course, you have a plan, you have an agenda, because you cannot go into a job like that without knowing what to do. And I said it also in the Management Council. And when I say Vito, it's not disrespect. I know you since years, therefore I can say Vito. And after the election on Sunday, we went together in a car to a European trial in Poland. And in the car I said to Vito, and as of this moment, we switch to cooperation. And you know what has been done before? There was one Congress where Vito had a problem to talk, to speak. Imagine that, it's the unthinkable. So this was this thing, and as of that moment, Vito, up to now, cooperation as it should be, together. Then was a visit in Rome in the office, some little fine-tunings, and it worked well, and also your applause before showed how satisfied and how happy you are with the administration, with the Secretariat in Rome. So this is the job to, first of all, to make, maybe peace is a too big word, but to get in good terms with FIM, and we have it as so far, and we have it in the future. Then to have a Secretariat that runs. Then Management Council with all these members. And I can tell you we had meetings, and our relation was, I will use this word, full harmony. Full harmony in all these meetings of the Management Council. And therefore we have success, therefore things moved forward. And this is for me quite an important point. So also thank you for that, for this harmony. Executive board, the same things have been done very, very well. With the federations, there was a good relation. The good office in Rome gave me the occasion to visit many, many events, more or less 2 or 3 times per month. I'm there, talk to you, ask you, what can we do for you? Because what you must never forget, we are here for you, not you for us. We are here for you with our job and our services. Yeah, and here we are now in Krakow. I could say there are two Wolfgangs. One Wolfgang will win, but this is now 4 years ago. Now things are different. One thing what I'm happy and proud about is we've increased the number of championships for women. But what we need, and I ask you, all you, the European federations, we need more women in commissions. We do not have enough. Please have that in mind. The world has changed, society has changed, the way things are seen have changed. We need more women in commission, and this is your job, your responsibility to appoint these girls and these women to our commissions. We really, really need that. What else can I say? Yeah, Europe has developed really good, and I think it's a role model now, this FIM Europe, how things work, and this shall be done in the years to come. What was my target? And then I already come to the end of that, to the short presentation. What was my target in the years since Congress Krakow? To assist in bringing FIM Europe to the next level. And this has been achieved. Europe has made a big step forward. It's now a role model of a CONU. And this is also my target and my vision for the years to come, to continue to working with you in building a strong and modern FIM Europe, according to the motto, United, we stand strong. So, for the second time now, I ask you for your support as a candidate for the presidency of FIM Europe. Thank you very much.
Merci, Monsieur Schreub. Donc, on va débuter la procédure de votation, et donc je passe la parole à Alexandro pour commencer celle-ci.
Merci, Mr. Bull. Just a few information for you. Now, you will receive after the roll call from our staff, the voting papers. Just with the voting papers, you have two voting booths, one on the left, one on the right. If you come on this way, you will use this one. If you come on this way, you will use this one. In front of me, there is the box. After the voting, you put the paper inside the box and come back to your position. So we start immediately with a roll call. You come with the staff and take your paper. Andorra, Mr. Corboulier. Austria, Miss Neuhauser. The scrutineers, please, one scrutineer in front of us, one on the voting booth on the left, one on the right. Thank you. Guidre. Ivo. Giulia. Okay. Idre, in front of me, close to the box. Thank you very much. Okay. Belarus, Mr. Visokis. Belgium, Mr. Rentmeesters. Bosnia-Herzegovina, Mr. Bajramovic. Bulgaria, Mr. Nikolov. Croatia, Mr. Lafter. Cyprus, Mr. Kumasi. Sorry. Czech Republic, Mr. Naus. Denmark, Mr. Holm. Estonia, Mr. Kais. Finland, Mr. Lundqvist. France, Mr. Berthaud. FIROM, Mr. Trajkowski. Germany, Mr. Kreutz. Great Britain, Mr. Collins. Greece, Mr. Kalaitsis. Hungary, Miss Zoliomi. Israel, Mr. Slomianski. Italy, Mr. Copioli. Latvia, Mr. Freivalds. Lithuania, Mr. Benediktavicius. Luxembourg, Mr. Kaufmann. Moldavia, Mr. Golovicin. Monaco, Mr. Poirier. Montenegro, Ms. Lukic. Netherlands, Mr. Mulder. Norway, Miss Westby. Poland, Mr. Witkowski. Portugal, Mr. Marquez. Romania, Mr. Olario. Russia, Mr. Zeus. Serbia, Mr. Mihailovic. Slovakia, Mr. Lazar. Slovenia, Mr. Bresnik. Spain, Mr. Garcia. Sweden, Mr. Wessling. Switzerland, Mr. Clement. Turkey, Mr. Akulke. Ukraine, Mr. Yakimchuk.
Finish. Bien. Est-ce que tout le monde a pu voter? Is everybody can vote? We forget nobody? On n'a oublié personne? Eh bien, je vous remercie. Le scrutin est clos et on va donc demander aux scrutateurs de quitter la pièce pour le dépouillement. Je vais vous donner les résultats des élections pour le poste de président de la FIM Europe. Alors, le nombre total de voix exprimées est de 70, le quorum étant de 36. Le nombre de voix non valides ou d'abstention est de 2. Le nombre total de voix valides est donc de 68. A obtenu 59 voix M. Wolfgang Schroeb, a obtenu 9 voix M. Stylianos Korelis. M. Schroeb, vous êtes élu président de la FIM Europe pour la mandature à venir. Wolfgang, c'est avec plaisir que je te remets ton siège et que je te donne la parole.
So, thank you very much for your trust, the confidence, and let's go to work. Stelios, you're here? Please come down. I want to shake hands with you and to have a nice photo. You deserve it. So once again, thanks a lot, and we move on. Just I need to find my paper. So now it's 14. It's the election of the vice presidents. There are 11 candidates for 8 positions. You explain the procedure?
After, it's better to start with the presentations.
So, and they come 2 minutes for their presentation. So we do it in alphabetic order. Each and every candidate will come down and makes a short presentation, 2 minutes, alphabetic order. So I call the first, which is Mirko Butulia. Mirko, you have the floor.
First of all, Mr. President, congratulate you on the new term and on the re-election. Also, I want to thank Mr. Boulet and French Federation for warm and great hospitality here. I'm the economist, so 2 minutes is too much time for me, and I hope I'm really efficient. My name is Mirko Butulia, and I'm a master degree of economics by profession. Married, I'm the father of 4 children. I'm the president of Automoto Association of Serbia, a club which is in charge for sport and mobility. Working in the club, I have successfully realized many projects, facing many challenges. I'm convinced that with my engagement, I can contribute to further and faster development of sport and mobility in FIM. We have to support young drivers and make competitions much more attractive and more popular, and dedicate ourselves to safety of the motorcyclists. I welcome FIM as a big family and group of friends with a common goal to popularize motorsport and make it more attractive, safer, and self-sustaining. Our strength is huge potential as our network and friend in every part of Europe. My own club's motto is family protects and friends helps. Thank you in advance, all of you, for support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mirko. May I ask the next candidate, Mr. Martin de Graaf.
Thank you, Mr. President. Dear friends, dear delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I'm also married, but my wife is in Assen, I'm here. two children. One is also an Assen, but my son doesn't like watching motorsport. He wants to ride himself. So I'm alone here. You've seen what the performance was from FIM Europe during the last years. Very good, very good. And we all are proud of it. And we know also that we have to act in the fast-changing world, but also the fast-changing motorsport world. But we also have to keep our values that have proved themselves. You understand that I should like to go on in this Management Council and to work with this President for the next period. It's very nice, and like our President said, we haven't had a dispute in the Management Council. I think we only one time voted, and the rest was unanimously. So we like it, and I like it. And I like it also to cooperate with you as federations. I know a lot of federations, and I know your quality, and we have to ask you what we have to do, and we have to work together. I can use your experience and use your knowledge. I also work together with the region associations, with all our volunteers. A lot of them are here, and also the volunteers of your federations. So thank you for that, and also our staff, of course. Don't forget them, but the cooperation is also perfect. But to do this, I ask you your support, and then I go on. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. May I ask now Jean-Marc Denu to take the floor.
Bien, je vais m'exprimer en français. Mesdames et messieurs, bonjour. Comme le prévoit le protocole, je suis très heureux de pouvoir vous adresser quelques mots. Alors, je vais être assez bref. Tout d'abord, quelques mots sur moi-même. J'ai une licence à la Fédération française de moto depuis l'année 1968. J'ai d'abord couru un petit peu en moto, en vitesse et en endurance. Et puis, en 1975, j'ai décidé de sauter le pas et de m'occuper plus spécifiquement d'organisation de façon générale dans un club, et un peu plus tard de vie fédérale au sein de la Fédération française. Donc j'ai occupé différents postes au sein de la Fédération française, notamment 12 ans en tant que président de la commission technique de la FFM. Ensuite, j'ai été élu en 1988 à la Fédération internationale de moto, là aussi à la commission technique. J'y suis resté 22 ans, dont à la fin vice-président de la commission technique. Et maintenant, je suis très très heureux d'apporter ma contribution au développement de la FIM Europe. Alors, pour ce qui concerne le programme et mes souhaits pour les années à venir, il se trouve que l'expérience acquise, notamment avec la FIM et dans le cadre de mon ancien métier qui était d'organiser des compétitions sur le circuit du Mans en tant que directeur événement, c'est de développer l'endurance, et notamment l'endurance, le championnat d'Europe d'endurance. C'est ainsi qu'avec l'aide précieuse de la commission des courses routes de la FIM Europe, et avec l'accord, bien sûr, du Management Council, nous avons lancé il y a 2 ans le championnat d'Europe d'endurance. Mon souhait est de continuer à nous en occuper et à faire progresser ce championnat. Et j'espère que ma petite expérience acquise dans ce domaine particulier de l'endurance avec la FIM servira à faire grandir ce championnat. Dans un autre ordre d'idées, je suis aussi très attentif à l'éclosion des jeunes talents, des jeunes pilotes. Et c'est pour cette raison que j'apporte mon concours, aussi bien au titre de la FIM que de la FIM Europe, à la série des courses du Sèvres Repsol, qui, comme vous le savez, sont aussi le championnat d'Europe de Moto 2 et de European Talent Cup. Et là aussi, écoutez, si vous me faites confiance, j'aimerais aussi continuer à m'occuper de cette série donc, à l'avenir. Naturellement, en tant que membre du Management Council, je suis aussi très attentif au développement de la fédération elle-même, et aussi très attentif au développement de toutes les catégories, de toutes les disciplines. Et voilà, j'espère encore pouvoir apporter ma modeste contribution à la vie de la FIM Europe. Merci en tout cas de votre attention.
Merci bien, Jean-Marc. And next in line is Juhani Halme.
Thank you, President. Dear friends, dear delegates, my name is Juhani Halme. I am SML Honorary President from Finland. 4 years ago in Krakow in Poland, I get first full period to be in Management Council in FIM Europe. I'm very happy of that, but more or less that time have been a practice. And now, today, my feeling is that I still have energy, time, and ideas to develop FIM Europe more. And if you have same opinion, please vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Juhani. Some micro is open somewhere. Next one, Martin Zlatowskis.
Mr. President, dear delegates, friends, it's a great honor for me to be here in front of you and present myself. Yes, my name is Martin Zlatowskis. What I want to say, we are different. We speak different languages. We have different professional backgrounds. In various ways, we have been involved in motorsport activities. But there is something common for all of us in this room, and this is passion. Passion for what we are doing. This passion drives us forward, not to do something for ourselves or to satisfy our ambitions, but to develop our sport in our countries and here in our Europe. The bulk of my professional career I have spent in public administration, leading ministries of justice and economy of Latvia and representing my country in European Union. But my heart has always been with motorsport. I have helped MXGP to come to Latvia already 10 years ago, and for a while now I'm president of Latvian Motorsport Federation. I believe in Latvia we have developed motorsport governance model we can be proud of. Already for 10 years we are on MXGP calendar. We are organizing several motocross and speedway European Championship rounds. And our young talents are starting to shine in the skies of motorsport, as Pauls Jonas is the most famous of them. I truly believe it is a great achievement for a country with 2 million inhabitants. We are not big, and I believe we are facing the same problems as majority of federations. Our sport is expensive, and financing is usually not sufficient. The reason why we have to think how we can help national federations to promote our sports in national level. Europe is the region where majority of competitions are happening and majority of riders are coming from. Our common voice have to be louder. Our problems, and there are problems, has to be discussed louder. The board of FIM has made a great job, truly great job, to develop and create sustainable organization, and this has to be continued. These topics, as well as representation of my BMA region, will be high on my agenda. And using possibility, I want to thank Nina Biryukova for representing us in board of FIM Europe. And what I want to say and stress, she has dedicated all of her life for our common passion, Thank you, Nina. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Martins. And next in line is Mr. Silvio Manicardi.
I brought a paper because I'm getting old. Maybe I don't remember what I have to say. So first of all, it's for year that I am here. I don't know if you are completely fed up of what I have done. I hope not. For the people who don't know me, I'll just give you a brief summary of what I have done in my life. I am a man that comes mainly from the industry, in the sense that I worked for Moto Guzzi, for Ducati, for Brembo, for Campagnolo, 25 years for Honda, following as also responsibility of racing activities, and I signed, for example, the contract with Valentino when he started with the Honda 500. But in FIM, I entered many years ago in the Caracas Congress in 1977, and I was a member first of the technical committee and later of CIAP, that is today the Public Affairs Commission. 9 years ago, Mazzi asked me, because I just retired, asked me if I wanted to join FIM Europe. I left FIM for a while, and now I'm here, bothering you every time. I hope that you appreciate my work. I would like to go on. Thank you.
Thank you, Silvio. And the next is Mrs. Nicoletta Olario.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Silvio Manicardi took a paper to read, not to forget. I forgot my paper at home, so I will speak free. In the last 16 years, I work in the Motocross Commission of UEM in the beginning and FIM Europe after. Also in these 16 years, I developed a project about extreme enduro in Romania. In the last years, I realized more than 90% of illegal races in our country to be with us. It's much better to take them with us, all the illegal races, all the riders which want to do this sport but don't want federations, they want to be free. Maybe it's time to be a little bit open to them, because they are hobby amateurs. They want to do this. They want to touch Graham Jarvis. They want to be there. They are hobby and amateurs. No matter, they have the same passion with us. And I think we must do something quickly. And we, when I say we, the federation, to take we, the riders, together. And for this reason, I want now to inscribe the illegal race of the 7th, now in West, in the Extreme Enduro Championship for 2019. So I will do all my best for all the rules to be respected, and I want the support of Portugal and France to do the same with their races in Lagares and Trèfle-Lozère, I think is the name. I don't pronounce good in French. And the rest 4 of the countries. Please do a step back now, and then you will have 5 steps in front of you better. So this is the way. We must step down a little bit, go to them, talk with them. This now is the time of the green table. We can take them with us. And we are not gods in the federation, but we are not devils. We will not eat them. We must show them. I will help them with ambulances, with environment. When they go to the river, okay, we will help to do a bridge, to take the same track, to feel this passion together. So I want to do this together. I want in the next 4 years to have both sides in the same races. We can do it. We can have for professional one track. We can, of course, it will be difficult, but it's not impossible. I hope we will be in the same place with me and try to put in the Extreme Enduro Cup now all the races which are now illegal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nicoletta. And the next is Mr. Stepan Pershin. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, fans of motorcycling, I am president of Croatian Motorcycle Federation that organizes numerous competitions in 16 disciplines. I am especially proud on world and European competitions that are organized in the motocross, Jastrebarsko Mladina, road racing Robnik, Speedway in Donji Kraljevec, well as on numerous competitions all over Croatia. I would like to stress the participation of our sports workers, volunteers and competitors in the numerous world, European and especially Alpe Adria competitions. It is significant contribution of the Croatian Motorcycle Federation on the touring gatherings. As well, we contribute to the development of tourism and increase the safety of traffic on roads of Croatia and Europe. Dear sirs, as President of HMS in cooperation with Ministry of Sea Transport and Infrastructures, Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Tourism, Croatian Olympic Committee and institutions such as Center for Vehicles of Croatia and Croatian Auto Club, where I am member of meeting board. Together with bodies of Croatian Motorcycle Federation, we contribute to the development of motorcycle sports in Croatia and to the increase of traffic safety on Croatia roads. As Vice President of AIM Europe, my work aims the impact on the development of motorcycle sports and the safety of traffic in Europe, Southeast Europe and especially Croatia, where coming large number of motorcycles will even greater. Thank you for your attention, and I believe that I will fulfill your expression in the further development of motorcycle sports and mental protection and the increasing of traffic safety on the roads. Thank you for your attention. Yours, Stjepan Pershin, AGMS. Hvala lijepa.
Thank you, Stjepan. And next in line is Michal Sikora.
Thank you, Mr. President, dear delegates, dear friends. My name is Michał Sikora. I'm representing Poland and I'm a president of Polish Automobile and Motorcycle Federation. I was an enduro rider in the 90s. I was then involved in many activities of a motorcycle sport, such as manager of a team or even going like a mechanic for some races. Then I started to be a volunteer and also to organize some events together with International 6 Days of Enduro in Poland, in Kielce, in 2004. My family is involved in a motorcycle since 3 generations. My grandfather in the 50s was a national champion for sidecar cross. So this is the passion which comes out since my grandfather. I am really passionate and devoted to motorcycle sports, and I hope I can continue in the FIM Europe. I was here for the 2 terms serving as a treasurer, and I hope my job was well done and you are happy with these numbers which I am showing you every year. I will work for development for the motorcycle sport and stable basis of our organization, of our FIM Europe. I hope you will support my candidature. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. And now I ask Jan Stovicek to talk to us.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, I should say one thing. This is not fair, because we are speaking as last, me and Ingrida, and we don't have anything more to say because everything has been already said. So maybe next time we should find some other way how to make this. I don't want to lose a lot of your time, so I will not be long, because I understand there is the football game going on, which is a strange coincidence. I didn't know if you noticed, but every time we have elective Congress of FIM Europe is the FIFA World Cup Championship. So it was in Krakow, it is now in Nantes. So please, Mr. President, I would propose that you contact FIFA, ask them to move their World Cup maybe to later. Je me permets quelques mots en français. Tout d'abord, pour remercier la FFM pour cette congrès, c'était excellent. Je voulais poser la question, comment vous avez fait pour avoir le temps aussi beau qu'ici? Combien ça coûte? Parce qu'on va faire aussi un congrès, peut-être je vais prendre un conseil auprès de vous, Jacques. Merci beaucoup. And coming back to English, I think I'm not unknown to most of you. I am president of ACCR, the Czech Motorcycling and Automobile Sport Association. I'm serving for FIM Europe, or for the UEM, from 1998, which is 20 years now. It's an anniversary for me and for the FIM Europe. I was serving, as you saw, as a judicial panel member and chairman, and now I'm continuing to serve for the last 4 years as a vice president of FIM Europe. I believe these 4 years has been very successful. I think there is a lot of things being done very well, but I still believe that there is a lot of challenges and a lot of things we need to do, and this is the reason why I stand here and ask you for your support so that I can continue. And I would say one more thing. Thank you very much to each one of you, because this excellent job of FIM Europe could not be done without you, without your support, without the Commission members, without the officials, and of course without national federations, because the national federations are the stakeholders of FIM Europe. They are creating FIM Europe, and they are working together, and I see it is very successful. So thank you very much, and I hope you will support my candidacy. Thanks.
Thank you, Jan. And finally, Mrs. Ingrida Visukiene.
Hello. Dear Mr. IFIM President, Mr. President of IFIM Europe, honorable guests and honorable family members of IFIM Europe, dear friends, it is an honor for me to introduce myself today. I believe that majority of you know me already from many years of cooperation and works performed in order to develop motorcycle sport. I have calculated today that I have spent half of my life in motorcycle sport. During this year, I have acted as mother racing of sportsman's son and as organizer of sport events and manager. I have also 8 years worked as a general secretary in the Motorcycle Sports Federation. In the 2013, my team organized the FIM Europe Congress in Lithuania. And I believe that you have a warmest memories about Lithuania from that time. I think that you saw in my curriculum vitae that I have experience in sport management, sport politics, solution of legal issues. and I have completed several studies in this area. Sport development and sport politics are integral parts of my life. I am active in Asia. I love people, work I do. I always endeavor and innovation and progress in my activities. My life motto is that humans always goes first, followed by discipline, duty, responsibility, strategic thinking, and respect and honesty. FIM Europe is not just a combination of latest. All of the the present as a future of this organization, and we are creating this for future generations. Before, I find it very important to be able to use my experience and competitions to contribute in this process. I understand my responsibility from FIM Europe family, and I am ready to work purposefully in order to meet your expectations. I hope you support and trust. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ingrida. So these were the 11 candidates with their presentation, and now ask Alessandro to give you the details for the voting now.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have the same procedure. We will use the same procedure. But I want to specify something about the voting for the vice presidents. So also in this case, the voting shall be carried out by deleting those candidates from the list that the voter doesn't want to vote. Pay attention to the number of open positions. In this case, we have 8 open positions, but we have 11 candidates. So if you delete all the names, the vote is considered as an abstention, like before, and therefore not counted as valid votes cast. If you let as not deleted more names than the number of open positions, in example, you let 9 names on all 8 open positions, the vote is not valid. So you have to delete almost 3 names. This is necessary. At least 3 names. Minimum 3 names. So we can proceed with the roll call. Scrutineers in the same position. Have you some question about the procedure? Is clear? We can repeat if you want. Okay, we go on. Andorra, Mr. Courbelier. Austria, Mrs. Neuhauser. Belarus, Mr. Visokis. Belgium, Mr. Redmasters. Bosnia-Herzegovina, Mr. Bajramovic. Bulgaria, Mr. Nikolov. me, it's a long procedure. We need more time than before. Croatia, Mr. Lafter. Czech Republic, Mr. Naus. Denmark, Mr. Ulm. Estonia, Mr. Kais. Finland, Mr. Lundqvist. Good. France, Mr. Berthaud. Firom, Mr. Trajkowski. Germany, Mr. Kreutz. Great Britain, Mr. Collins. Greece, Mr. Karaitsis. Hungary, Mr. Zuliomi. Israel, Mr. Slomianski. Italy, Mr. Copioli. Latvia, Mr. Freivalds. Lithuania, Mr. Benediktavicius. Luxembourg, Mr. Kaufmann. Moldavia, Mr. Golovicin. Monaco, Mr. Poirier. Montenegro, Mrs. Lukic. Netherlands, Mr. Mulder. Norway, Mrs. Westby. Poland, Mr. Witkowski. Portugal, Mr. Marquez. Romania, Mr. Olariu. Russia, Mr. Zeus. Serbia, Mr. Mihailovic. Slovacchia, Mr. Lazar. Slovenia, Mr. Breznik. Spain, Mr. Garcia. Sweden, Mr. Wessling. Switzerland, Mr. Clement. Turkey, Mr. Akulke. Ukraine, Mr. Yakimchuk.
So, one more minute and then I make some nice announcement. 1 more minute, please, concentrate. So, right now the voting is closed. Ask you, the scrutineers, you take the boxes, you carry out your job, and the good news for us is 30 minutes well-deserved coffee break. Hallelujah.